And welcome back to Wheel to Wheel. It's been a week, been a while. Last week was a bit of a slow one, not a lot of things happening. But this week, stacked. Very stacked and I'd say, pretty weird weekend, especially for Jack, given that he just had to watch Ty Gibbs win a NASCAR race at Bristol, of all places. But yeah, today we're gonna get into some NASCAR. Then we're gonna head into over to the GT World Challenge Europe, where you saw a bit of F1, a bit of an F1 driver there too. One in the one in the garage and one on track. Though it that car did not have the funnest of races. Then we're going to get into next weekend, which is another stacked weekend of the Long Beach doubleheader with IMSA and IndyCar, and then the WEC return after the delay. So let's get right into it with NASCAR at Bristol. Ty Gibbs.
Oh my god.
Ty Gibbs wins at Bristol, and I said, hey, winning at Bristol seems to be a good luck charm for a great career, because 6 dudes who won there, or was it 5? I think they showed 5 on the broadcast. 3 of them were Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
One of them being Dale Earnhardt. The other was what? Kyle Busch was the last guy to win his first race at Bristol?
Kurt Busch, the other brother.
Kurt Busch, okay.
Yeah.
They're brothers?
Yep. They're brothers.
Okay.
They hate each other.
Yeah.
Well, not so much anymore, but in their prime, there is a lot of animosity going on.
Probably because they have to fight each other for wins every day.
That's part of it.
But yeah. So Gibbs winning at Bristol over Blaney at the line too. After the restart, it was Reddick who had a monster restart. He had this is the restart before the restart, because Kurt Busch decided to plow into Riley Herbst to cause overtime, but Tyler Reddick managed to get into this position after having a monster restart with 16 to go. And then after that, it came down to the top 4 guys of Ty Gibbs, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, and Kyle Larson, who was dominating for most of the day, but then seemingly at the end of this race, his car just fell off a cliff comparative to the others. Want to know y'all's opinions about that? Is that something that typically happens? Especially given that there wasn't a lot of tire wear this time around.
Yeah, it wasn't the extreme tire wear. I did notice, compared to some of the races we've seen in the past, I know like the one me and Jack went to last year, it did feel like there was a lot more slipping, like getting on the throttle, which I appreciated. But I think Blaney had the best car. It's just I think Larson himself said it's like, yeah, Blaney had the best car, but his pit crew just kept screwing him all day.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. The last one wasn't as bad because they took 4 tires, and Larson took 2. So at first we thought, oh my gosh, again, but no, it was just the amount of tires taken.
Yeah, I agree. But last year's spring race, being there, and it was fun and all, but it was also kind of a snooze fest. Mostly because Larson had the best car. He had pretty much every single lap. It was really not even a doubt who was going to win that race. Not a whole lot of cautions. I didn't think this year's race was a snooze fest, but it was definitely maybe a little bit lacking.
Well,
I mean, maybe.
The second stage was just nothing.
Yeah, second stage, bulk of the race was not. First stage, sure, you had Larson, and then you had Blaney fighting to get through traffic. Bell had a really good run going on there. He had a toe link, I believe it was, that broke off. So tough luck for him after winning the trucks race on Friday. But yeah, I agree. there wasn't a whole lot of tire wear, and I kind of saw that come in. Just remember in the spring race from last year, there was zero tire wear whatsoever. But I also think it's just such a far cry from the night race when Goodyear brought these tires that would shred almost instantly, and that was an entertaining race. That was one of the most memorable races last year for me, at least, at minimum. But yeah, I think Blaney had the best car. I thought his biggest problem was obviously, other than pit crew, of course, someone needs to get fired. I don't know who, but someone needs to get fired. But I think the other problem he had is I don't know if he had the best car when trying to get through traffic either. I think Larson navigated traffic a little bit better than he did, especially I would argue in the first stage. Kind of made Larson catch up to him a lot. And that's kind of something you need at a track at Bristol where sometimes you just got to shove a back marker out of the way and get on with your life. So I'm not a big Ty Gibbs fan, but you got to win. And honestly, I kind of saw this coming. He's had top 5 pace at a lot of the other tracks that we've seen lately, but he just wasn't able to put it all together. He's been close many times, but today it just finally went all in place. He had a top 5 car maybe all day, but I did not think he would be a race winning car. I didn't even think it was a top 3 car, but top 5 car, probably number 5. But big win for him. Comes away with the most points, comes away with 59. So kind of hard to argue with the results. Congrats to Ty Gibbs.
So you did bring up Larson and Blaney in traffic, and the race we went to, and honestly most of the Bristol races I've gone to, except for the one last year in the fall. There's something I noticed with Larson. He is by far the best driver at getting through traffic. I remember there's this weird line he would do.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Him, it just gets such a good run off the corner.
He comes off so high, and then he swoops down low and takes the inside for the next corner. It's just, yeah, I know exactly what line you're talking about.
And it's kind of hard to see sometimes if you're not at the track, but he runs it to perfection when he does, and I think that's what makes him so deadly through traffic. Whereas Blaney, his kind of style is just rolling that bottom really well, and that's kind of difficult to get through traffic like that. There's a driver in this top 10 that absolutely deserves a shout out. Starting P35, getting 6th place in an FRM car. Todd Gilliland.
Todd the GOAT Gilliland. Oh my God. Dude.
When you said 35th, I was like, wait a minute, who? Oh, and then I remember, oh yeah, Gilliland just he stayed out. He stayed out it was the 3rd last caution, right? And then from there, he was also actually really good before those last two, before the second to last caution, because comparative to some of the other Fords like Blaney during the end of a run, where his tires were to start to fall off and he'd just start losing the rear end, because during the end, before the second caution, Blaney was losing the rear end a lot, and that's why was it Gibbs or Larson who's coming back at him? No, it was Gibbs was coming back at him. But Gilliland, he was smooth the whole day, even on really, really old tires. Joey Logano also had a great race. This is a great race for Ford in general. 4 cars in the top 10. 4 cars in the top 10. Logano starting from P20. Shit, all 3 of them started behind 15th. 17th finished 8th. Logano 20th finished 7th. Gilliland 35th finished 6th. It was a great day for Ford.
Yeah. late race cautions will do that from time to time. Just you gamble and roll dice, and you get a little lucky sometimes. And but I agree with you 100%. I think Gilliland overall had a pretty good day, and I think he definitely deserves a P6. Organa kind of shocked me. Just wasn't really on the ball at all today. Somehow gets a 7th place finish. Another driver that's maybe.
No, there were some runs where Logano was like the 4th best out on the track.
Yeah. I don't know if I could. Yeah. I don't know about 7th. If he finished like 9th or 10th, I'd be like, okay, but 7th just seems a little high for me.
Hey, he maximized his race comparative to Hamlin, who did fall off at the end.
Yeah.
He was, at times, I thought he was going to start catching up to Larson and Blaney, and then he just never did.
Yeah, I was about to touch base on.
Fall off.
I was about to touch base on Hamlin. Race didn't really come together for him the way I thought it would. I thought I was going to see Denny, top 5 all day, but and he came close a couple times, but just couldn't really put it together when he needed to. And obviously, he can't be mad with a 9th place finish. I mean, that's a good chunk of points. He gets 41 points. So again,
outside
Denny can't complain. I don't think he can complain at all. Carson Hocevar, Hurricane, the boy, top 10, starts 10. Not a good race for him. Just kind of like that Ford pack, though, is really the big movers and kind of a little bit of the shock we see who finish in the top 10.
I kind of felt like this track really kind of lends itself to these underdog runs. Like, one of the first ones always comes to mind. I believe it was 2016 or 2017. Matt Benedetto in a Go Fast Racing, which I don't even think they made it to 2020.
No,
got like a P7 for them. Team. Yeah, like you just see these kind of runs from time to time. And touching back on Gilliland, I think this was huge. This was very huge for him because FRM has a lot of decisions they need to make on the driver front. I think Zane Smith is their number one guy right now. Todd, he's got to prove with like really good results that he needs to stay in the Cup Series, and results like this absolutely give him a case.
100%.
I just want to touch base on that.
100%. And also, like that puts him above Noah Gragson. Like they were kind of close on points headed into this race, but now that gap has expanded. Gilliland's now 26 in points. Gregson's in 31st. So again, you take a look at that sort of stuff. You look at how much support a guy like Gregson's been given, and you look at like what you said, a race like this. Gilliland gets a huge points haul. It's kind of hard to overlook something like this.
I want to point out a few guys here. Allmendinger, he had a great race, 15th. Suarez, who at one point he was fighting tooth and nail against Larson to stay on the lead lap, he ended up finishing in 12th. I'd say that's a really good result for him.
Sure.
I know it's 21st, but Riley Herbst at times, there in the first stage, he was running in the top 5 damn near the whole time. I think this is actually a pretty good rate result for Herbst. Even after the spin, he still finished ahead of Busch. So, that's karma. And then I want to say the last thing, Trackhouse, horrible day. They had a horrible day. Zilch and Visbergen, nowhere. Chastain, at times, he was fighting for the top 5, and then it just fell off at the end, finishing 20th. Not a great day in the office for Trackhouse.
I'll throw another Chevy manufacturer in there. Outside of Larson, with top 3 finish. Man, where was Hendrick today? I mean, look, I'll give Bowman a pass, right?
Yeah.
And you just came back, and I can't.
Was caught up
I guess
in
I'll.
someone else's mess.
Exactly. Not totally his fault. I mean, he ends with 1 point, which is awful. Obviously, I don't think he's making the playoffs. I don't know if, no matter how hard, how good he runs, I just don't really think if he can make up that much ground. So that obviously is not good. Byron, I thought, had a solid car, but he got sent to the back because he made some changes to the car. I think it was some steering. So he started from the rear, and again, race just never really came together for him. Finished 30th, and Chase Elliott, 22nd. Like, man.
Yeah, the spin.
I mean, again,
Byron.
yeah, just rough day. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, Martinsville was a little bit of a get right race, but they need another get right race. Hendrick needs another get it together, get your ducks in a row. I mean, other than the 5 crew, obviously the 5 crew has it figured out. They led the most laps, come away from a lot of points. With this, I think the second most points. So they got this figured out. They got this on lock. But 9 team, 24, 48 a little bit. Although again, I'm giving the 48 a little pass. It's your first race back, and you get caught up in shit. Just overall rough day.
Someone who didn't have a team that didn't have a rough day and a great day. RFK, all 3 guys in the top 15. Zalski sit 14th. I looked at his number and said 6. Busher 13th, and obviously Ryan Preece in 8th. Once again, establishing what you said, being one of those tier 2 teams.
Yeah, I think RFK's getting to the point where they're competitive on a week-to-week basis. Like I'd say tier 2 team. So just for everyone watching, my tier 1 teams right now are like obviously JGR 2311. Then I would put Hendrick and Penske up there. And then there's tier 2, which I think you can move up or down a tier on any given week. So if you're a tier 2 team, you can compete with the top cars on any given week, but it's not consistent enough. But if you have a bad week, you're with the back markers. So your tier 3s, tier 4s. I think RFK is the premier Ford tier 2 team. I think that's pretty sweet. I think that's where they want to be. And on some weeks they best Penske. Now, obviously, Penske I think has a better driver lineup. I think they have a better setup. I think the 12 team's getting held back a little bit, but the 22 team has struggled a little bit. The 2's been solid. But again, they are competing with the top teams like every other week. Like we saw something at Darlington where all 3 of those cars could have won that race at any point. So it's just great stuff coming out of RFK, especially after the year they had last year and the year before. Missing out on the playoffs, no wins, no nothing. I mean, this is awesome for them. And yeah, still no race win, but you get these great results. You get these points on the board. I mean, the world is your oyster at that point. I mean, you get into the playoffs, anything can happen.
Yeah, I think when you went before the season and you're like, all right, what is this team's path to making the playoffs? For RFK, it was pretty obvious. It was just consistency. Consistency. There we go. And that's just what they've done week in and week out. That is their path to the playoff. They have two cars that I feel are very comfortable in right now, and Priest, I think, can join them. So it's just like, that's what they need. They need days like this where, they're not on it, but they're 13th, they're 14th. Just getting those points, and that's just so huge for them.
By the way, I want to point this out real quick. RFK is the only team, and I mean the only team, to have all their drivers above the cutoff line right now. JGR does not have all 4 cars above. Hendrick only has 3 out of the 4. I mean, again, makes sense a little bit. 2311's missing Herps up there. And obviously Penske's missing a couple of people. They're missing Cendric up there. They have all 3 drivers above the cutoff line. I think that changes. I think they get 2 cars into the playoffs, like what you're saying. But do not be shocked if you see 3 RFK cars in the chase come this fall. Do not be shocked at all.
Who do you think would be the guy at the cutoff? Who do you think's the guy in danger? Buscher or Kozlowski?
Okay, so I think it's gonna the 2 people, and I think Derek may disagree with me on this, but I think it's gonna be Kozlowski and Buscher are gonna be the ones that are gonna be above the line. I think Priest just misses out. I think he's gonna finish 17th, 18th in standings. But again, if you look at the results he's had so far this year, it's been incredible stuff. It's been consistency. But I do think these other cars have, these 2311s. I mean, again, you look at someone who's outside of the top 16. Yeah, you take a look at some guys who are outside of the top 16. Like you have people like, I don't know, Briscoe. You have Cindric. They're technically outside of top 16 or top 12 or whatever. Look, I think Briscoe, this was a great get right race for him. I thought he had some pretty solid pace, and I think Cindric may find himself up there, especially if he starts putting together these consistent races like what he's been doing lately. Today may have been a little bit of an off day for him, but again, don't be shocked if you see all 3 cars up there.
You want to hear a fun stat?
Yes.
Austin Cindric has as many stage points this season as Ty Gibbs.
Wow.
Well, finishing matters.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to is just going off trying to predict the future. I feel like using stage points is a good way to predict you're running well, you're more likely to get those points.
Yeah.
So it's like, where I'm going to with this is right now I project that Briscoe and Cindric are going to make it. And so Priest is currently where I'd put the cut line. And he has Suarez and Van Gisbergen behind him. Maybe Chastain makes a run at it. So it's it's tough for him. It's possible, but it is tough for him right now. That's kind of what I'm getting at with the chase line, where I think it is in reality versus just saying who's 16th right now.
Sure.
I think Gisbergen's probably going to be safe when those road course wins start rolling in, which will happen. It will.
I don't know if they're that much of a given. I mean, look, yeah, obviously he'll be the
one. At least one.
At least one. At least one. But again, that's... Yeah. You think 3?
3? You say 3?
We have 3. We have 3 road course races.
Well, yeah, so you have Watkins Glen, right? Then you go...
You have the
Sonoma,
San Diego.
and then Naval Base. Yeah, exactly. Oh, then, yeah, and then that's it, yeah.
I'm going to throw a curveball out for Watkins Glen. Don't be shocked if Zillage is up there.
Sure. Yeah.
Because those Trans Am days, he's fast.
So when we go on a quick theory real quick, are there any ovals, right? Do you think he can actually truly excel at? Obviously, he's seen almost every single track on the calendar at least once at this point, right? Do you think there's a track he maybe figure it out this year? Because obviously, we know he's good at one thing: consistent breaking points and consistent driving line, right? Which is why he doesn't excel a whole lot on certain ovals than others. But it's like, is there an oval on the schedule that may be like, hey, this is something you have to hit your marks on. Your line has to be super consistent. Like, I look at something like maybe in Indianapolis, right? It's, slightly unorthodox, right? Not that these drivers haven't ran it before, but it requires you to be super consistent with your line, make up a bunch of time with your braking. I mean, what do you think?
I agree with you there.
I think that makes sense. Thinking about it, I'm just trying to remember where he was running last year. I don't remember a ton of the Brickyard race last year.
I can't really say much.
That race at the end kind of devolves into chaos if we get a late race caution.
For sure.
That one could just be about surviving and strategy. I feel like New Hampshire is one, because I think he ran really well there in the fall last year. That could be one to, like, maybe get him safe right before Daytona.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've just always seen him run pretty decent laps at Charlotte. It's a little bit different to, like, how I think you're good, but I do think he's been quite decent there. Maybe it's just because it's one of those tracks where you get a ton of laps on, and so the gap in knowledge isn't as big, maybe.
Sure. Yeah. I can see that.
I can't really say much because this is my first year seriously being following NASCAR. But like, I agree with you on Indy because, most people see the Indy cars just go around their full speed. Thing is, most of the race isn't full speed. Hell, it's probably the last 3 laps where they're flat out entire time in those cars. So
well, and even then, is like, it's hard to follow the car ahead of you when you're going full throttle, because there's the void that the car ahead of you creates. So exactly. So even in the last 3 laps, I'm pretty sure they're still they're pushing it harder, but there's unless you're the leader, you're not going 100%.
Last 2-3 laps, they are 100% on it. Because once they hear the fuel say you're clear on fuel, it is on. Those cars go full throttle. Unless your tires are just shot, which you don't want happening at Indy in the last few laps. Because if you lose it on the rear, it's done. You're done.
Yeah. But interesting docket for coming up here for NASCAR. I think, nice little bit of variety in these next 3. If you want to count 4, let's count 4. You get Kansas, you go to Dega, then Texas, then Watkins Glen. So very good mix. I mean, obviously, I think you have Kansas, which is like by far the fan favorite. I don't know a single NASCAR fan that does not like Kansas Speedway, just because of the racing it produces, all the different lines you can run. It's a shame that they built it in Kansas and not anywhere near a large city. Well, it's near Kansas City, but Sorry, I'm a Broncos fan. Kansas City is not that big. I hate Kansas City.
You say that, and then I read that shit says Kansas City. What is he talking about? That's a city. That's a city big enough to be in 2 states, mainly because of why did they even build it in between 2 fucking states?
Yeah, I don't know.
Imagine using a bathroom at a place and then one leg's in Missouri, the others in Kansas.
Oh my god.
I wonder if there's a restaurant or a place there with a bathroom
there
straight on the fucking state line.
There probably is. But after Kansas City, you go to Dega. Everybody loves Dega. You also hate Dega, but you love it. I think I know at least one person who's going to that race. I think he's in this recording with us. Then you go to Texas. Texas has always been an oddball for me. Some years it's fantastic, and other years it's a snooze fest. But and then you go to the Glen, which again, another fan favorite. So
Yes.
at least 3 out of the next 4 weeks, we're gonna see some fantastic racing. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Texas, if you can help bridge the gap a little bit, that would be great. But man, we got a lot of fun racing ahead of us the next 4 or so weeks.
Yeah, I am super interested to see how these cars roll around Watkins Glen. One thing I did say, I remember mentioning in the chat was, I wonder how because I noticed how high they had these cars set up this week, and I'm like, I wonder if that's how they would set these cars up if they ever went to Sebring. And also the body roll you would get on these cars if they ever went to Sebring, they would lean so hard going into the final corner, into the first corner.
They would have to raise the suspension and the ride height on these. Like the suspension would have to be super stiff, and then they'd raise the ride height on those cars like a bunch, because like Bristol's already a super bumpy track, and you can see it on TV, but you don't realize how bumpy it actually gets until like you're there, and then you can see, there's these cars going, 100 miles an hour down to the front straight or back straight, and they're going and it's like because they're just bouncing all over all the panels. But yeah, it's got a lot of fun racing. I'm looking forward to what's coming in the next couple weeks. NASCAR.
Any last touches? Any last remarks?
Just a quick note on Xfinity. Good win, Connor Zilic. Brent Cruz. I'm very interested in looking at more Brent Cruz racing.
Hey,
And
wait, I think I know who you're talking about. Say it.
wait, what?
What are you gonna say next?
I wasn't. I kind of forgot about him. Parker Retzloff was P9 again, by the way.
Yes, exactly. That was exactly what I was thinking. I was like, he's gonna say it. I was like, Derek's gonna say it. He's gonna say Parker. I was gonna shout him out if you weren't, but, yeah. Jeez, just don't give Parker Retzlaff piece of shit cars. This guy gets on our top 10. My God.
Also, I'm looking at the point.
Imagine if he did it and it was still just a piece of shit car.
Corey Day's gotten a lot of crap this season. A good amount of it kind of deserved. He drives over his head a little bit, but also he's 4th in points, which is like, fair play to him.
Fair play.
Showing a lot of good speed.
Sure.
But I also just want to point out something really quick on the point standing front. If you will look at the O'Reilly Series points, Justin Allgaier is 130 points ahead of second place.
Damn, I thought fucking Reddick had a lead.
Yeah. It's, once again, being the benchmark you measure future prospects up against. Like, yeah, I don't know how else to say it. That what this is telling me is that there's no one worth promoting the Cup right now. Old Unk still got it.
Yeah, I really like him as a benchmark with other JRM drivers.
Yeah.
Man, Quapple, I need more. And I gave up on Sammy as a real prospect a while ago.
Yeah, I agree. Carpool need to see a bunch. Corey moved up 3 spots in the standings in this race with this result, by the way. So 7th, move up to 4th. Sheldon Creed also moves a spot. He inherits 2nd place in points. Parker Wetzlaff is still in 9th, so good on him. Unfortunately, Karoof is now out of the top 10. He is now 11th. So
is he still in the playoff?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay.
It's top 12.
Yeah, top 12. So, again, now I understand it's a little difficult because he's flip flopping back and forth with equipment pretty much every other week. So, again, one week you might get a meh car, and then next week you get a fantastic car. So, again, kind of tough to do when you're kind of faced with that from week to week. But hey, good on him. He's holding his own. And Austin Hill moves down 2 spots. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are happy about that. Anything for trucks?
And Corey
God,
Heim
Corey Heim's so good.
Didn't he get taken out?
Yeah. I don't want to get too much on Eckes because it looks really bad.
It does.
Just on the replay, but like I kind of understand what he's going for. It's just you're trying to get in behind him on the bottom, and he just misjudges it. I don't think it's as bad as it looked.
Yeah, I don't think it's awful.
In Honeycutt.
Yeah, I don't think it's as awful as it looks for sure. I mean, it sucks because I think everyone was looking forward to Heim time. We did not get Heim time. Chandler Smith gets another good result. Gets his now leads by 1 point against Honeycutt. So, and by the way, Corey Heim, I believe, is 3rd place in points, and he hasn't run all the races.
He has missed 2 of the 6 races.
Yeah. So, and he's ineligible for playoffs, which I think is BS. Because if you make if you make the playoffs and you didn't race all the races, you deserve it. You freaking deserve it because you're just that freaking good.
Yeah. The very last thing I will say is shout out JJ Yelly for being the only Ford in O'Reilly.
Yeah.
I don't care if he finished in 26. He was literally the only guy there who showed up in a Ford. So shout out to JJ simply for existing in a Ford.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I think Ford is going to move out of O'Reilly. Like, maybe. I mean, I've heard some rumors.
All right, Dodge, it's time to. All right, Dodge, there's your free slot. Don't even bother about Cup. Just make a car to be good in Xfinity.
It really is the O'Reilly Chevrolet Auto Parts series. So,
with a few JGR.
With a couple of JGRs sprinkled in there for good measure.
But don't be surprised if we see Penske and O'Reilly soon.
Okay. Yeah. I can get behind that. 100%.
Think Quap would be their main driver.
You think JRM moves off of him and just.
I mean, it was the rumor. I think it was last year. The rumor was he signed a contract with Penske, but obviously they didn't have a place they could put him, so they just kind of let him waste with JMR.
And honestly, at this point, they shouldn't change the lineup. So, again, my opinion, but. I'm good on NASCAR. I'm good on NASCAR. I think that sums up.
Yeah, I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, good.
Right, well,
good week.
I think it was. I think the ending of Bristol was really well. Just stage 2 was a snooze fest.
Oh wait, there's one more thing. It was the closest finish at Bristol since 1991.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Cool. Been a while, but it also finished with overtime and not, a green flag one, so.
Look, it was probably going to happen regardless, given that all 4 of them were bunched up together.
Yeah, probably.
So, now we get from the States to Europe for the GT World Challenge Europe opening race, 6-hour race at Paul Ricard, and it was weird, exciting. At times, nothing, and then really, 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 really good at the end. So race starts off literally not even getting into the first corner, they crash.
Yeah.
First race starts 6 seconds in. There's a Porsche in the wall. There's a McLaren in the wall. There's a McLaren that hit the McLaren that went into the wall. Once they get out, once the leaders get out of turn 1, guess what? Turn 2, a McLaren is turned round. The Pro Class Garage 59 McLaren got turned around. You get to the straight. We're still racing at this point. Safety car hasn't come out. There's a Porsche that just gets sent into the wall going into the back straight. Then we finally get a safety car.
Yeah, absolute cinema to start.
It was fucking chaotic, yo. It's like, yeah, you know what? 58 cars on a racetrack, this is bound to happen. We have 58 cars. It would have been over 60, but we lost some guys in practice. I think we lost 3. Well, there were supposed to be 64 cars. We only started with 58. So that's unfortunate, but still 58 cars is really, really, really great. So after all of that chaos, we get into the restart. Mercedes just pulled away in that first stint, in that first stretch of the race. It was Mercedes 1-2. Well, Mercedes, then the McLaren, the Gold Class McLaren. But after, I think within that hour, it was Mercedes 1-3, and for a good bit of the time, it was Mercedes 1-2-3. A lot of fighting, though, between, especially in the you can't say midfield, because midfield is like 26 to 40th or some shit like that. But there was some good fighting in the top 25. Just wasn't up front because the 48 Mercedes was just gone. 48 Mercedes was just gone, but early on it felt like Mercedes was going to run away with it. But at times you had the number 80 Lion Speed Porsche coming back into it. That car fought its way to second at some points of the race. Another thing that happened early in the race, which matters at the end of the race, is the 007 Aston Martin had a puncture early in the race. It had to be offset, because at first I thought, what the hell's going on? Why are they stopping so early? Like, they don't even realize that it doesn't seem like they realize the car's in. But there was puncture in there. There was a puncture. They became offset. For some other cars that were offset, but the 2 Porsche was also offset. So not a lot happens until we get the 5 wide down the back straight. Jules Gounon airborne on the curb. They're passing traffic. They're passing each other for position. The Lion Speed Porsche goes all the way. They come from all the way behind Gounon, slide to the outside, take second place, and Gounon's just sitting there like, okay, I pass Maxi Martin for second, but I'm still in third, and now there's a Porsche ahead of me. After I went airborne, and he's sick while doing this, mind you. Like, he's very sick in the Verstappen Mercedes. Some other things that happened early. The 18 Aston Martin, which has Lance Stroll in the car. Before he even got in the car, though, his teammates were having themselves a day. Mari Boya punted off a Ferrari, got a penalty for that. Then his other teammate got in the car, ignored about 5 blue flags warnings. Lance ended up at the end of the race ignoring a blue flag, though. To be fair, the blue flags this year was, once you're 7/10 in front behind a back marker, the back marker's supposed to give way. So you can understand, okay, 7/10, that can really be equalized quite quickly in racing like this. Yeah, the middle part of the race was a lot like the middle part of Bristol. Not a lot happening. Mercedes were just running out front. And then at the end of the race, you get a dead Porsche. causing a safety car. This is the first caution, full course yellow, full first safety car since the beginning of the race. So now that Mercedes, which has been running up front, dominating the entire race, all of a sudden there's only 5, I believe, back markers between them and the 007 Aston Martin that had a puncture earlier, and all of a sudden they're in second place. Unfortunately, you'd be expecting, okay, where was this Porsche y'all were talking about? It unfortunately died. It unfortunately had to retire due to steering issues later in the race. So they had to retire. It sucked. The car was really fast. They were all really fast. But that's what racing is. So at the end of the race, off this restart, the Aston Martin very clearly has the pace. Very clearly is the fastest car. Even though in the last sector, the Mercedes was the faster of the two. But once he got into clean air, a few laps into this, it seemed like, okay, the Mercedes just going to equalize this, be all good. No. The Aston Martin kept on getting tenths by tenths per lap, and now we are here 3 tenths between them in about 4 laps. Get onto the back straight. Mercedes makes a mistake going into the kink off the back straight, and that was that. So there was a mistake by the Aston Martin late in the race that allowed like a second and a half off. I still don't know what happened there. It didn't matter. It ran off afterwards, and they ended up winning the race. So Nicky Team, Tia Drudy, and Marco Sorensen having themselves a fucking day to win that race, especially over that Mercedes, which was dominant the entire race.
Yeah. It's honestly kind of a shame that the 48 Mercedes didn't win that race, having dominated most of it. But I mean, that was a pretty climactic finish, I would say. Seeing this the 007 just climb up all the way through the field and get past these back markers, and yeah, it wasn't a classic thugging it out for the overtake. It was more of just a mistake by the Mercedes, but awesome effort by Aston Martin getting it done. And I do want to give a shout out to the McLarens that were in the gold class.
Yes. Yes.
And I want to give a huge shout out. So it seemed like a lot of McLarens had that trouble on the first lap, but they were wicked fast.
It was really just the one that crashed out, and then the Greystone McLaren that had issues. But outside of that, all the McLarens in all the classes were quick all day.
Were very quick all day. It was the who was it? It was the 50, not the 58, but the 50.
Oh, the 59.
Sorry,
59 and correct.
Yeah, no, it was the 58. They finished
that one gold.
Yeah, 59 won the gold, right?
No.
Okay. No, I'm sorry.
58. This is really confusing, okay?
Yeah.
Garage 59. There is the 59 car. That's the pro class car that got spun out. They still finished 5th.
Yeah, that's who I was gonna give a shout out to. Yeah.
The 58 car, which is part of Garage 59, won gold class and got 3rd overall.
Correct. 59.
Like, I understand what you're saying.
So the 59 car, okay? So Garage 59 car, okay?
For 59.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they had that spin on the first lap, but they made an incredible recovery. I think they finished top 5, I believe.
They finished 5th.
They finished 5th. Just awesome race by those guys. He had a pretty good pass on the Porsche near the end of the race. So good stuff for the McLarens. But yeah, although the top of the class these classes, the gold, the pro, were dominated by the British. It seemed like the Germans dominated the bronze and the silver class.
Porsche winning.
Yeah, Porsche winning silver and also wins the bronze as well. So dominant wins for those guys there, especially the Browns side. Just feels like they controlled that class day in, day out.
Yeah, it was really the Porsche. I do believe that Porsche, which finished 13th overall. Ricardo Pera, Antares Yu, and Loke Hartog. They, in the Retronic Racing Porsche, they had a great day comparative to their Pro Class counterparts, which switched from Porsche to Lamborghini, and they got the new Temerario. Let's just say the Temerario did not have the best of European debuts. Now, over in IMSA, obviously, you saw the FAF Motorsport car make the worldwide debut. That car survived Sebring, so it says a lot about what the car can do, durability-wise, but at Paul Ricard, there was issues all over. That Retronic Lamborghini ended up dead, actually, on the side of the road. It did die at points. It did get back running, but it was on and off. The reliability really wasn't good for them. And it's a shame because this is the team that won the Endurance Cup championship last year in that Porsche. But one side of the garage, you win your class, top 15 overall in a stupidly strong grid.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bronze class car. That is super impressive. But on the other side, new car, got to get rid of the gremlins. I'm expecting more later in the season out of all the Temerarios between them, Grasser, and TDS. I think it's the last scene.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Mixed bag for them. Great result for Porsche.
Absolutely. I do want to say this. This is kind of like not really in context of the race. Well, a little bit, but I don't know if I watched a race at Paul Ricard since Formula One left. Okay, and so it's been a while since I've watched a Paul Ricard race, and honestly, different car, completely different, and a lot more action. You get a bunch of cars out on track, but it kind of made me miss for F1 on Paul Ricard a little bit. Just by God, please do not use that godforsaken chicane on the back straight. It feels like the track flows so much better when there's no chicane on the back straight, and it was kind of like, wow, I wonder how much better the race in Formula One would have had if that just didn't completely break up the flow of the race. Now, obviously, there's a ton of dirty air issues, but the GT cars just make this track work so well. I mean, it was unbelievable. Again, action up and down the order, in between different classes, just phenomenal stuff. And again, kind of made me miss, sport like F1 being at the track a little bit. But then I also remembered that I would skip watching the French Grand Prix once every couple of years because the race was so damn boring. But yeah, kind of tangential to the race. It's been a while since I watched a race at Paul Ricard, and it's just stirred up a couple of memories. And I would love to see more of it in the future. It just again, no back chicane, please, no, absolutely not.
Man, you hate that back chicane.
I don't.
Absolutely despise the GT3 Revival replay. If you were to watch that, they used the chicane. But hey, at least we saw old GT3 cars. They did debut that series, and we saw a lot of really fucking cool cars. But I do want to emphasize that how strong of grid this was. Because there is a car, for example, this is a terrible example I was about to give. Well, here's one example. Charles Leclerc's brother, Arthur Leclerc, then you have Sean Galel and Lilou Wadu. They finished in 19th. They had a really weird race. They got bumped. They were the car that got hit by the 18 Aston Martin. They still finished 19th. This strong of grid, that is super impressive, but you have cars with Christopher Haas and Marcus Winkelhock in the same car. You have cars with Alessio Rivera, Nicholas Nielsen, Tommaso Mosca. Race-winning car had Mattia Drudi, Marco Sorensen, Nicky Time, the 48 car, the 48 Windward car, Lucas Auer, Lucas Stoltz, Marl Engel.
Yeah.
And then that gold class car for the McLaren, Thomas Fleming, Louis Priet, and Benjamin Goff. And then the other McLaren, which, let me say this right now, E. McDonald, Marvin Kullerhofer should 100% be in the McLaren hypercar next season. I truly believe those two have earned that hypercar seat. They were also partnered by Joseph Locke. But this is the grid. This is the type of grid you're going to see at Nürburgring next month when Max shows up. Because, and also, like, Lance Stroll wasn't even the fastest guy there. Now, let me be fair. He was running very well when he did get into the car, and he was very fast. And he also did, like, zero testing with this car before doing this, so respect for him to just throw himself to the fucking wolves.
Yeah.
On a grid like this. Absolutely. And actually on pace be there, even if the car got sent to hell before he even got in it. But this is the type of grid and this is the type of racing you're going to see at the Nürburgring. This is the type of competition that Max is going to have to deal with, and I'm going to continue to say it. Gotta stop underestimating these guys. They are pros. They are fucking fast. And they produce such good racing, and I really do think, and I'm really glad that GT racing as a whole is getting recognition that they very much, in my opinion, deserve. I don't really have anything else to add other than that I love GT World Challenge Europe and GT World Challenge in general. Great series, great fucking race.
So what's the next race for World Challenge?
They head to Monza for the Sprint Cup, start of the Sprint Cup.
Hell yeah, man.
I believe that's in a few weeks. Oh, and they also, during the broadcast, there were a couple shots at F1.
Oh, look, well warranted, by the way.
The funnier one was when the 58 McLaren lapped Stroll, and he was just like, well, something that he was talking about how Stroll, this is all very new to him because this is the first time in a GT3 car, racing a GT3 car. But he said, well, this isn't going to be new for Lance Stroll, and that's being lapped by McLaren as that McLaren goes by. They also were talking about how GT cars are a lot more fun to drive than super clipping at 130 Rs. So, but yeah, I do think it was an exciting race. I am excited for Monza and the rest of the season, and I do think this is, again, proves, hey, GT racing, place to be. And speaking of GT racing, sports car racing, doubleheader over at Long Beach this upcoming weekend. I think it's fair to talk about what's going to be happening this upcoming weekend with how stacked it is. Long Beach, IndyCar, IMSA, and then WC returning after the delay over at Imola. I want to start with, well, which do y'all want to start with? IndyCar, IMSA, or WEC?
Your call. I'll roll with the flow here. Your call.
I want to hear what y'all want to think. So
I want to start with IndyCar at Long Beach. That cool? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I did ask.
So, okay. Man, Long Beach. I enjoy the Long Beach circuit. I think it produces pretty solid racing, and obviously it's that temporary street race course you got going on here. It's probably like one of these IndyCar races where it's like, I want to go. It's like, obviously I've been to the Indy 500, but if I think of another IndyCar race, it's on the schedule, I want to go, it's going to be this guy right here. I mean, this is a favorite for me. It's kind of serves as a litmus test for me of who's really who's going to be like the top guy moving forward. And obviously, you got these two guys. You got Cookwood, Palou. I think are going to be like the two favorites. Obviously, Cookwood kind of excels on these sort of tracks. But also, last year. And then Palou, obviously, because he's Alex freaking Palou. So lots of good stuff coming out of Long Beach. Very, very fast. You got a lot of long straights, some tight zones, especially after that long straight with the right-hander. You get into a pretty technical part of the track, but then you get some pretty hard-breaking zones as well at the end of these medium-length straights. So produces some solid racing. I always look forward to Long Beach. It's going to be a good one for this year.
I feel like when it comes to the street courses, right, one of my biggest issues, I think, is just like there really isn't any history behind a lot of them, right? But this is one of the ones that I'm like, this thing has been around forever, right? This has been around, I believe, since like the 70s. And it's such a beautiful track. I love the little fountain corner, and then it's a few corners after that. It's like this right-hander, and it's kind of hard to tell where the limit is there. And you're pushing it, and it gets onto like the straight. It's like a shorter straight. I forget what the turn number is, but I think it's turn 5. But it's like on video games and stuff, when you race it, it's like that corner was always so hard to tell. I love that little bit. It's beautiful, man. I love this one.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna see another Kyle Kirkwood win. Andretti has been really strong here recently, with Kirkwood, but also Herta, Rossi. So I'm expecting an Andretti win, probably Kirkwood.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really think that would be really a surprise. Obviously, Kirkwood won. Polo, Christian Lundgaard had a pretty good result last year for here. He got P3 for McLaren. You get to go see Kirkwood do Kirkwood things, and obviously, if he's going to be competitive in the championship against Palou, which again this year he's very much in the fight. He's leading him. Again, a win here would do dividends moving forward, especially when you get into a part of the schedule where Palou is likely to dominate more. And also, you got to look out for, a guy like Newgarden, who's going to dominate at a lot of these oval places as well. So as we're going to get into a few more ovals, there's not really a whole lot of ovals on the schedule, but there's going to be some. So you get to go see Newgarden dominate. You get to go see Palou dominate. Yeah, you get to go see Palou dominate at these permanent tracks. It's like, hey, Kirkwood, this is a great opportunity for you to pull ahead, assert yourself. Maybe if Palou gets a little unlucky, again, not trying to jinx anything, but gets a little unlucky, you might be able to pull out a big gap here and give yourself some breathing room. So, again, quite competitive, and I think this is the 51st run-in of Long Beach. So, when you mentioned that this track has history, you mean it, you're not saying that lightly. There's a lot of memorable moments that have gone down in Long Beach history, and yeah, I think we're gonna add another chapter here. This upcoming week, and again, just love this track, man. It's so much fun.
Y'all keep on saying history, and I have to say, when you think of street courses, the ones that probably pop into people's heads most is Long Beach and Monaco, if we're going to be honest. But yeah, this is a track where you need, due to it being a street course, it is tight. So if you do want to make overtakes, you have to be an aggressive driver. I think Kirkwood, Palou, obviously, they're aggressive when they need to be, not aggressive when they don't. If Kirkwood does win this race, this is very much hey, you're not just gonna run away with it this time. You gotta fight this time. You gotta fight this time around, this year round. I do think this is a good track for someone like Pato O'Ward to come back into it, because he had a terrible race over at Barber. He definitely needs to reestablish himself in this championship with a good result here. I think Lundgaard will 100% be in the race running for a win. I think this could be his first win of the season. And then I'm gonna throw a very wild card. Since you need to be aggressive to win a race like this, to make moves on a track like this, Rasmussen.
Okay.
What do you think about Rasmussen having an amazing result, possibly a podium here? He is one of the sketchier drivers. He is very much one of the more aggressive drivers, him and Grosjean. So I do think aggression will be probably the most important part on making moves and qualifying, especially just pure one-lap pace. Might actually be the most important thing, just grip position. Track position is king on circuits like this. And you know Palou is going to be up here. You know Kirkwood's going to be up here. It's who's going to be challenging them. Will it be O'Ward? Will it be Newgarden? Yes, Newgarden. Will it be McLaughlin? Will it be Lundgaard? Will it be Rasmussen possibly? Grosjean maybe?
Hey, Will Power. I mean, he also had a good result here last year.
Too.
I mean, I don't know. You can never count out Will Power. He just does Will Power stuff. Like, look, he might qualify like garbage, but then he'll end up P5 by the end of the day. And look, I love it. I love Will Power for it. He's a freaking legend. So, yeah.
Scott Dixon have not had great qualifying performances this year. Someone I should have mentioned as well, Scott Dixon. Can never not mention Scott Dixon.
Yeah, can't not mention Scotty D.
All right now.
Scotty D.
Ain't nobody called him that.
Okay, I'm making stuff up on the fly. Look, Scotty D and Scotty Mac. You gotta have like consistency with the nicknames. All right.
No, you don't.
I'm kidding.
I have a fun stat for y'all. I want y'all to guess something. How many top 10s do you think Pato O'Ward has at Long Beach?
Oh my God!
How long has Pato been running here? How long has Pato been in the series? 2019 was his rookie year?
I'll give you how many races he run. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races. He's run, or I think this will be his 7th.
So he's run 7 races, but how many top
10s? I'm gonna say all of them.
Jack?
I'm gonna say all of them.
Okay, all memes aside, 6?
It's 1.
Oh shit, we're way off.
We're way off. Okay.
It was a top 5 in 2022. His second best, I believe, is his fourth ever IndyCar race.
Wow.
And his first time there, he got 12th. This has been a very big struggle track for him. I'm shocked it's actually this big.
I guess
that's actually awful.
All of them.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I've always thought he ran better at this place. But no.
Well, it is a circuit that this is a circuit that fits him, given that he has always been fast on road courses and street courses. Well, to be honest, he's more put together than Palou is technically. He is better on ovals than Palou is on average.
Yeah. I had no clue. That is a.
Oh, he can't have a bad one this year because he's already on the back foot of the championship.
Yeah,
knows early, but it's not a lot of races. There's only 17, so he needs to have a good result here if he wants to put himself back in it and finally get one after being snubbed about 40 million times.
Yeah.
Only been like 3 times to be fair, but you get the point.
Sure. That is true.
I'm probably going to say that we can get into IMSA.
Sure.
This is a doubleheader.
The Saturday race.
We have one thing we can really get onto. Porsche. Are 60. No, they are 40 kilograms heavier than the next car.
Yep.
Which is literally just the non-Evo version of the Porsche, which is the JDC car at 1,060 kilograms, whereas the Penske car is 1,100 kilograms. we saw these last two races, Porsche, well, mainly Sebring, because at Daytona at the end of the race they were challenged, but at Sebring, even with all the night chaos, they ran away. It wasn't even close. It wasn't particularly close. So IMSA definitely said, all right, we've heard from quite literally everyone at this point, aside from Penske. They need to be balanced, and they damn sure balanced them. This is Toyota and WEC treatment.
Yeah.
They also have the least amount of power at V1, which is 190 kilometers per hour, but to offset the weight and to offset the lack of power in V1, they have, along with Aston Martin, 100% of maximum power in V2.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Aston Martin, once again, they have not been touched in terms of BOP. They have the best BOP. They have just simply not had the car set up very well these last two races. I kind of was like at Daytona, sure, first time running there, it didn't work out. But at Sebring, I thought, okay, maybe we could see the Valkyrie getting some fighting, get up there in the points. Weren't there. They couldn't survive. The bumps were killing them. They had no tires. They had no grip. So here, it's not as bumpy as Sebring. I don't think you'll ever get close to that, but it still is a bumpy track. You look at the BOP, you think, okay, will the Valkyrie finally have its first good performance this year? I do think there's a very good shot that they do that, but even with BOP, you can't count on Porsche for this win.
What do you think of this Acura? So I'm reading the BOP here, and
or the technical bulletins.
The technical bulletins, right? And right now I'm looking at their. So obviously you have the two Porsches that have the biggest hit for the V1, and then Acura's next. Do you think that this is gonna? What do you think of that? Because I don't know if the Acura is particularly
the weight difference.
It's
the weight difference. Complete. The Acura is actually, I'd say the Cadillac and the Acura have always run really well here.
Okay.
Obviously, you look at all these driver lineups; they're damn near even with how talented and how good they are. I do think this will be an Acura race. I'm in agreement with you.
Yeah,
I think this is probably an Acura race. This is the race you can get. This is probably what you need for Acura.
Yeah,
probably really good race for Acura. I do want to point out with the JDC Porsche, it is not the same lineup that they had with Sebring and Daytona. Lauren Heinrich is going to be partnered with, and oh my gosh, I had the name and then I lost it. But the usual driver there, another really young driver, because their average age, because if you combined all three of their ages, it was like 60 total. So it's really young. The JDC car has a really young lineup. But Vandeltine, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, but Heinrich is going to be running the JDC Porsche in the Sprint Cups, in the Sprint rounds, for the rest of the season. So all of a sudden that car went from super impressive, actually, being that it is a privateer car, to all of a sudden we get a factory driver in the Sprint rounds? That car, especially given that it's nowhere near as balanced, well, nowhere near as penalty-wise in terms of weight and power reduction comparative to the Penske car, that will be a car to watch for the win, given that Lauren Heinrich is going to be driving it.
For sure. I'm obviously, you know me, I'm pulling for my Cadillac guys. Right now, again, this is a race I think they can very much win. And obviously, they're second in the standings. I mean, they need to catch up now because they've
very clearly been the second best car.
They've been the second best car, but when you look at the gap, I mean, obviously Penske's just they're running away with it. So
we're only 2 races in.
We're only 2 races in.
As we saw last year.
But it does seem a little lopsided right now. At the
It has been. It very much has been. I agree with you there.
So
BMW, they're also the second. Well, they're tied for the third lightest car. They have nearly max power at V1, and they are. Well, they're actually the second worst on power in V2. But to be honest, it's really all about. I say for a track like this, power at V1 is far more important than power at V2. So that's why, to me, the Penske cars will be at a massive disadvantage, being by far the heaviest and the least powerful, 490 miles per hour. And I'm just gonna say it. I think Cadillac versus Acura for the win, along with the JDC Porsche. Now that Heinrich is going to be in that car, in terms of the hypercar class,
for sure. I also think that if everyone's going to get banged on the technicals, like, hey, why can't Aston Martin put a game together? I mean, I would love to see it happen, but I just don't know if that's the race for them right now.
It's about setup. It's about experience. It seems to me, and given that they're the only car on the entire grid outside of the JDC Porsche to not have an Evo, but it is a brand new car, so at this point, putting an Evo on it, when you haven't even seen what the perfected version of base car is,
correct,
doesn't really make a lot of sense. You're still figuring out this base car. I think if they do have the setup, if they get that right, you have the drivers. You obviously have this car on paper. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see the Valkyrie of a good performance along with the Valkyries in WEC. A very fun storyline, especially given that their drivers in Sorensen is coming off of a win, so confidence is going to be there for Sorensen at least. So,
yeah.
Now,
completely different track though, from completely different track than what we're running at. So, but yeah, it's good. I think this is also going to be a good IMSA race. I'm with you though. I think this is a Cadillac Acura race, unless the Porsche obviously has something to say about it, which. Again, I'm not. Which it will. I mean, if we're going to look at the records, but yeah, I think this is. You could have possibly a 3-horse race in this category, which will be a lot of fun, especially at a track like this.
I also want to put the BMW in there, obviously, because this is a very, very talented lineup. They've always been great in qualifying. And I know qualifying is probably not going to matter as much in a 2-hour race comparative to, like, say, a shorter race. But grid position does matter, and them being up front early could definitely help near the end. I do want to note that the Temerario will be going from GTD Pro to GTD to run this race, and Roxy will be in GTD running this race in GTD. So,
very nice.
I do expect an exciting race, especially within GTD, but I do very much wonder if this weight gain, if this power loss will even bother affecting the Penske Porsches.
I don't think so. I think they just got they got the shit figured out, dude.
Yeah, that car is perfected at this point.
It's the pinnacle of what it's of that category right now. It's untouchable. It's untouchable.
499P.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Look,
you got me there.
Look.
You got me there.
Ferrari. There was a rumor like 2 years ago Ferrari was interested in IMSA. I'm going to say this again. Well, not again. For the first time. Look, Ferrari, depending on what happens with their whole marketing and sales and worldview and the politics, which, well, I can't say we can brush them to the side because they have very much caused some issues. Cough, Super GT. But I would love to see a Ferrari hypercar in GTP with Lilu Wadu and oh my gosh, I keep on forgetting the names. It's not David Ragone. It's oh my gosh. He's not in a hypercar right now. Nicholas Nielsen. Yes, Nicholas Nielsen and Lilu Wadu. I would love to see a hypercar, a GTP pairing with those two. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. But hey, we might see them in a hypercar anyways in the next few years. Speaking of hypercars, WEC is coming back, and we are getting the debut of, well, 2 brand new cars. You have the Evo for the Cadillac with Jota. You have the Evo for the BMW with the WRTs. And you have the Evo with a Ferrari, too. So 3 new Evos, 2 new cars, technically 1.5, because the Toyota is a new car, but it's also an Evo of the old car, but it's named as a new car, and it looks like a brand new car. It's technically just Super Evo, the GR010, but it's the TR010 because they rebranded Toyota Racing. But obviously, I do want to talk about the Genesis GMR 001. I'm excited for that car. That car looks amazing. That car fucking sounds amazing. It has a 3.2 liter twin turbo V8 built off of 2 Hyundai WRC rally engines. So it's 2 1.6 liter turbo 4 bangers welded together essentially. A lot more complicated than that, but simple terms. It's a rally motor on steroids because that's what it sounds like. Y'all have heard that car, right? So unfortunately, don't expect the car to be fighting for the win. Let's just hope that the car finishes the 6 hours. I think that's obviously the plan there. Let the car finish in 6 hours. But it's going to be really fun to see that car on the grid. Unfortunately, they technically are replacing Porsche, who did leave WEC this year and are only running in IMSA. But we could possibly see the 2 Proton cars run in Asian Le Mans series. So keep an eye out for that. Before I really just start fucking yapping about how cool hypercars are, what are y'all's opinions? I'm gonna stop myself. How are y'all feeling about the season opener?
For supercars or which category? Sorry.
Hypercars.
Oh, hypercars.
Hypercars or the LMGT3, because Logan Sargent is actually going to be in one of those Proton Mustangs.
Oh, okay.
There are a lot of new drivers, a lot of old drivers, obviously, but there are some new drivers in both categories. I think he's the headliner within LMGT3, and he will be a future hypercar driver for Ford. That was announced. Him, Olsen, and Mies. No. It was him, Mies, and Rockefeller. Actually,
all right. I don't know how I didn't see it, but that's pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. I don't know. I'm just now seeing that. I don't know if we talked about it in the past or whatnot, but
it happened in the off season.
Okay.
It happened. They announced that. Remember when Ford did the event with the Red Bull to reveal the F1 car? That happened then.
Oh.
Before that,
gotcha.
It was really just a Ford event, and they revealed the F1 car. Yes, Logan Sargent is going to be driving that Proton Mustang, and he will be a hypercar driver for Ford next year.
Sweet. That is awesome. I had no clue. I think that kind of got brushed under the rug a little bit just because of the obviously the car was pretty beautiful, and I remember that more than Logan Sargent.
Logan Sargent.
No offense, but yeah, 6 hours Imola coming up. Pretty sweet. I love Imola too. Just a classic track. I'll be honest, I haven't really paid a whole lot of attention heading of WEC or WEC or heading into this, but obviously got the Genesis making a debut, and obviously that's huge. You mentioned how incredible it sounds, and yeah, just think it's going to be a nice step forward for WEC. Got a bunch of people making the train over, hopping in. Obviously, Genesis being one of them, and I think it's a great time to be a hypercar fan, to be an endurance fan. Just lots of stuff happening. It's getting the recognition. It's getting the big name drivers, and people are making cars. So it's a beautiful time to be a fan of that.
So there was something I was looking at. I remember earlier this season, and it's a driver that honestly probably one of my favorite drivers. Very incredible driver. I was wondering where he was at, and I wasn't aware he was part of this Genesis team. But Andre Lauderer,
yes.
That's good. I'm very interested to see how they do.
I do think their lineup makes that car even more interesting with Danny Giancadella. They actually did announce the lineups for each of their cars too. Lauderer, I'm not gonna guess off the top of my head. I'm just gonna look it up.
Yeah, Lauderer's in the 17.
Yes.
Giancadella's in the 19. And then they also have in the 19. You know what? I don't need to try to pronounce.
Is it Matthews Jacob or?
Yeah, Matthews and Chatin Paul Loop.
Yeah, Chatin Paul Loop. Chatin Paul Loop. He is a driver from Alpine. He's coming over from the Alpine Hypercar to this new program. Unfortunately, Alpine will not be in the WEC past this year for now. I say that because I'm also still waiting for the SCG to come back in some way, shape, or form. Also, Pipo Derani too is in that car, one of those cars. You should see Pipo Derani. It's been a while since we've seen him in the Cadillac.
I don't see it on the WEC website.
Well, he 100% is in that car. I can guarantee you that if I don't, I'll do a push-up. Genesis.
But you won't need a shoe.
So, couple of just teams just kind of jumping off the screen for me real quick here is obviously can't help but talk about the Toyotas. Obviously they got really solid lineups, both the number 7 and the number 8. The number 8 is just stacked. Sebastian Brumi, you got Brennan Hartley, Hirakawa, and then number 7, obviously you got Conway, Kobayashi, and DeVries. So just unbelievable, just stacked lineups for Toyota. I heard I think it's like their 100th race or something like that.
This will be their 100th race.
Yes, 100th race. So big mark for Toyota, and love seeing that. Obviously, you got the Peugeots also. Paul Resta got Stoffel Van Dorn. Just a couple notable names in those. And that number
and Teo Pourchaire.
93. Yep.
And Pourchaire.
And the 94.
Can't forget Pourchaire. Yep, Pourchaire. He's in the 94. And obviously you got the 007, 008. So good names there. You got Gamble. So obviously I love a good Tom Gamble. But so really solid guys in these lineups, and obviously WEC is a hell of fun to watch.
So in the 19, it was Jamine Matthews. In the 17, it says Derani Louis Felipe. That's Pipo Derani. That's just his full name. You're good, because I've never seen that, but it is Pipo Derani. I am excited to see how the Genesises do run. One thing you mentioned, the Peugeots. They had a really strong second half of the season last year. And honestly, a really strong season overall. Ever since they decided, let's just put a wing on it. We tried the no wing, and the no wing was fast. We will see it again in Asian Le Mans. The no wing did work, just not to the point where they were comfortable to continue developing it. But that car will be very fast, and I do expect them to establish themselves as one of the front runners early this year, especially given how they were running up front a lot of the time at the end of the year. Do think they did get a win last year, I believe, at least one. Ferrari, they have a brand new Evo kit on the car, so seeing how that car performs differently, especially because they were affected by the Sauber move. Actually, all the hypercar teams were affected by Audi buying up Sauber. All the hypercars had to do their wind tunnel testing in Charlotte, North Carolina. And so it's going to be interesting for the Ferrari to see if they will continue to dominate up front with this new Evo package, and if this is what Toyota needed to put themselves back into the championship fight, because they were nowhere until the very last race where they finally got some serviceable BOP and they dominated the final race. So, yeah. Really, just the first new race, I do want to know where everyone stands, because I can't really say who stands where. Obviously, you have the favorites with Toyota and Ferrari. Without Porsche, it's going to be interesting to see if Cadillac or Alpine or Peugeot or BMW finally establish themselves as one of those top three teams. And given how most of the driver lineups are the same, very much similar driver lineups all around, outside of, say, Genesis Squad, Pilpashare, and Peugeot. Just wonder how those cars run with new drivers. And there's a bit of bit of staff changes. I think there's definitely staff changes in Ferrari, because I think quite a few WEC guys ended up moving to the F1 team, if I remember correctly.
I mean, I still like Ferrari, though. I mean, again, it's hard to bet against, a Ferrari or a Toyota. I don't know. I'm feeling a little Italian today. I like Ferrari here. They're on home soil. And by the way, I love the lineup in the number 50. I absolutely adore it. Fuoco, Molina, Nielsen. I mean, that's just so fast. That they got incredible talent in that car. Again, just kind of hard to bet against them. And yeah, you might have some guys moving over to F1, but I don't know if they're gonna. I don't really think they're gonna miss a beat. I think they can put a good race together for the Tifosi, and maybe lead all 6 hours. Probably not, but probably not. But I do like their chances here. I love it. But on the other hand, it's like, hey, Toyota's 100th race. It'll be pretty poetic for them to go out on a pretty big note for their 100th race. So,
and the crazy thing is, if they were to win this 100 race, they'd have a 50% win rate in WEC. They've won
which is the
49 races.
Yeah, which is the unbelievable
WEC.
part. Unbelievable part. That is just an insane stat.
50%.
I'm gonna pick my podium right now for this race.
Cars ain't even on track, and this man.
I'm picking my podium.
Bold.
I'm picking my podium.
You gotta love it.
I'm picking my podium. Okay, I don't believe in being rational. I don't believe in being rational here. I only believe in being rational when it fits my agenda. But I got the 50 Ferrari, and then I'm gonna take the 7 Toyota, and then I'm gonna pick the 8 Toyota. I think that's what the lineup's gonna end up being. I'm betting heavy on the favorites, but of course, Cadillac.
Yeah, especially with the new with the Evo updates.
With
they
the
will
Evo
be fast. And you have driver change, a singular one, Jack Aiken.
Yeah.
And also, Alex Lynn will not be here. He's injured, I believe. So the 38, I think. Yes. No, the 12.
The 12.
So it's just going to be Norman Nato and Will Stevens running that car for this first round. So that hurts. I'd say that hurts, even though that's a really strong car with Nato and Stevens. But Lynn brings more speed too.
It's a fantastic car, but I just don't know over the course of a quarter of a day if it's gonna stick with the speed of the Toyota that we all know.
It should, given that the Toyota's a new car.
Yeah, but look.
At that point, you're thinking, okay, new car reliability issues, maybe.
Yes.
So I understand what you're saying. They are.
It's continuity for me. I mean, new car. I get the new car argument. But it's also it's just hard for me to bet against that driver lineup. In both of those cars, I think. Top 2 driver lineup, maybe. But I'm hoping the Cadillac, the Americans, can make something happen. And like what you mentioned, like the Peugeot, it's going to be great to see how that shapes up Genesis. I'm hoping the Genesis does well, and it's competitive, so I think they have a pretty good shot to beat so this race.
Man, you're gonna hate what it says just front and center on the WEC website, and it's just no crazy expectations for
expectations.
They say don't expect nothing crazy. But to me, I think it's anyone's game. Ferrari and Toyota are probably the favorites, but with these cars being continued with given that we're a few years into these new regulations, these cars have developed, these cars have evolved. I do think it's just at this point we're way too close, car to car, to just say, oh yeah, the Ferrari, especially given that we haven't even seen the cars out on track and what the BOP is going to be.
True.
I think it's anyone's game. Ferrari, sure. You also got to remember the AF Corsa car. They were extremely strong. They won Le Mans last year.
They did. They did.
I can't say any winners, but I love your boldness.
Look,
that's what we need.
Like I said, I only believe in rationality when it benefits my case. Like, I'm just going to be bold. I'm going to be bold everywhere else. Now, what about the GT3 category?
On GT3, that's even more. That's even closer, dude.
Yeah.
There's nothing between the LMP. Thank you, because I almost forgot. Garage 59 will be running the McLarens this year instead of United Autosports. United Autosports is going to be running more heavily in LMP2 as they're preparing to be the team that runs the McLaren hypercar next year. So Garage 59, completely different lineups for McLaren and WEC. In the 10 car, oh my gosh, it's so weird to see the Garage 59 McLaren and neither of them are number 59
or 58.
No, you have.
Oh no, you have the 58. You have the 58. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But in the 10 car, it's so weird. Garage 59. Why are you 10 and 58? You couldn't have. Did you not ask anyone for 59? But you have shit. You have Thomas Fleming out, or you. Oh my gosh, I've never tried pronouncing that name. And then you have Kirk Hoffer. It's a stupidly strong lineup.
Yeah.
You have West Alexander, Benjamin Goetz, and Finn. Oh yes, and I also completely forgot. In WEC, the LMGT3 cars are Pro-Ams. All these cars are Pro-Am cars. So there's a bronze in each one of these cars. Mm-hmm. I do believe. Yeah.
Yeah, bronze
is the bronze in the 10.
Bronze, silver, and then pro gold. Yeah. But there is a car that's not running a pro or gold for the third driver. Looks like to me that the Iron Lynx Mercedes is going to be running gold and bronze and 2 silvers. Looks like that's going to be Zelger, Cristoni. Yep, the 79. Yep. The Iron Lynx, baby.
Yeah, none of these guys are golds.
Yeah, no golds in that car. So, yeah.
Its pace is going to be interesting, especially when you have the golds and platinums to the car. How quick will they be?
Yep.
Comparative to its sister car, which will have Maxi Martin in the top driver there.
Yep. Well, just a little interesting there. Just wanted to point that out.
Two new teams for Porsche now in GT3. You have, technically they're still Manthey, but it's not First Form and Iron Link. In the Iron Dames, it's Manthey DK Engineering, the Bend Manthey Racing.
Yep. Starting
another shame, given that we don't have, due to the whole Iron Lynx thing, whole Prema situation and all that, we will not have the Iron Dames anywhere. There's one driver with a drive this year. Then sucks. But for the 91 Porsche, you have Cottingham James. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that first name. Fuck. Timur, and then Aichan Guven in the top drive. Wait a minute. Are these fucking... Hold up. Oh my gosh. It's last name, first name. I just realized that because I was like,
yeah,
West Alexander.
You're like West Alexander, and I was like, is this like a college name or a high school name?
And then I see Aichan Guven, and I'm like, wait a minute, how did it take me that long? You have the reigning DTM champion in Aichan Guven in the 91. He's actually been quite good this season. Richard Leeds, Ricardo Pera. Yasser Shahin. You know what? I have to say the 92 is the stronger lineup, even if Guven is in the other car.
Interesting.
I'd have to 100%. I'd have to say Richard Leeds, Ricardo Pera, and Yasser Shahin are the stronger lineup. Ricardo Pera, he's a silver right now. He's gonna get a factory drive soon. If it isn't with Porsche, it's gonna be with somewhere. He's not gonna stay a silver for long. He is ridiculously fast. He was part of that team that won in GT World Challenge Europe in the Bronze Cup. He was part of that car. He's fast. He's so fast. I really do think he's going to be a goal soon, if not next year.
Lots of, I'm looking at the lineups, a lot of Americans. Obviously, you mentioned Sargent, hard not to. Driving the Vantage for Heart of Racing, separate teams, but Gray Newell, Ian James in both the 23 and the 27. Blake McDonald's driving the Corvette, Go America. Then we got McIntosh and Powell driving for the BMW and the Ford, respectively. So some good Americans in the lineup. Obviously, Sargent's kind of like the headliner, but obviously you see, a guy like James, a guy like McDonald, got some fast drivers from America in there, mixed in there. So pretty sweet.
Never forget the very much immortal Ben Keating, TF Sport. And speaking of TF Sport, it's going to be 2 split teams. It's going to be the normal TF Sport car and then the Racing Team Turkey by TF. Now, they do have Charlie Eastwood in this car, but you have Peter Dempsey and Salih Yok. probably pronounced that wrong. I apologize. But a new team to partner up with the 33 TF Sport car and a very fun livery. I do have to say that red looks good.
On the Corvette, man, it's incredible.
Obviously, you have your WRT teams, which are stacked as usual. No Valentino Rossi this year, as he is doing full-time in GT World Challenge. But you have Augusto Farfus, Sean Galale, Darren Lung in the 32, which typically is the stronger car. And then you have Daniel Harper, Parker Thompson, and Anthony McTosh in the 69. Nice.
Yeah. But like you said, I mean, this might be even closer than the hypercar class. This is like, you know, I'm just going up and down the list, and this is just incredible. I mean, so much talent, so much speed in these parts. Obviously, gonna see where a lot of these land up. You know, how are the Iron Wink's gonna handle not having a gold or a pro platinum in the last driver spot. You know, you got a bunch of like, how's Sargent gonna handle this, right? You got a lot of storylines going on there, maybe even more than hypercar. So this is gonna be fun. And obviously Imola is a great track, can facilitate a lot of racing, especially in a GT car. So I'm really looking forward to this category. Dare say more than the hypercar one.
Last thing for me, I just now noticed Racing Spirit of Le Mans is not going to be here full season in the Aston Martin. It's two hard racing teams. Aston Martin's putting a lot of backing. To me, this just feels like Aston Martin is even just speaks to the confidence Aston Martin has with Heart of Racing. And yeah, in terms of LMGT3, it's really, bronzes are super important. If they can keep up, if they can put themselves in a position to give handoff to the faster drivers with good grid position, that's super important. Absolutely. Also, even during times where it's a bronze versus a pro driver, can you keep up? Can you keep the gap close? So GT3 plays out really interestingly with the bronze drivers, with these non-pro drivers. And with how close the cars are, once all the pros get in the cars, it's fucking chaos. So, yeah, I think that wraps it up for WEC. And one thing I want to say for our overtake of the week, we all have the same exact thing, right?
Yeah, I don't even think it's a question.
I was trying to find something else.
I don't even
We
think
all
it's a question.
have the same exact thing. 5 wide, down a straight, going airborne, down the outside, overtaking traffic. Yeah, I don't think anything beats that.
Pure insanity.
Though last
Just
time we didn't
unbelievable.
really do worst overtake of the week.
Well, or like moment.
There was a few candidates this weekend, I'd say, especially the 18 Aston Martin just punting off the 50 AF Corsa Ferrari.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good moment. Anything that happened damn near in the first 2 corners of GT World Challenge Europe.
You know what I'm excited for next week, by the way? We get the return of Dennis Hauger Hate Week. hate moment. I'm kidding. Not Dennis Hauger. What I'm really talking about.
I was about to say Hauger.
Not Hauger.
You mean?
No.
Do you mean the one?
Yeah.
The only.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nolan Siegel.
Not him.
I'm kidding. It's Nolan Siegel. Nolan Siegel hate.
I forgot
hate
the
minute. Nolan Siegel hate moment next week. Not Dennis Hauger. No, of course not. The other
wins?
driver, right?
What if Siegel
I think
wins?
that's Ali Deshoe.
I'm looking forward to another Nolan Siegel.
Look, and if he wins,
Yeah, look. Again.
If he wins, I will gladly eat that. That would be such an incredible story.
Look, Nolan Siegel Hate Week returns next week. I'll gladly
We will
here.
be there.
I will be there no matter what. I will be there no matter what. Another day to hate on Nolan Siegel. Oh man, that's so beautiful.
So I think we're in agreement. That probably wraps it up for today, unless.
I got nothing.
There is something I want to talk about. Kind of F1 news. I did see something on social media, and I was trying to figure out where this came from.
Are you
I found
talking
out
about
it
that
came from
Aston
the
Martin?
person himself. No,
Okay.
nothing to do with Aston Martin. It has to do with Mercedes. It sounds like we are going to get it's a private test, but a private test for Dorian Penn
Yes,
in an F1
fucking
car.
finally!
Wow.
I remember seeing that. I
Wow.
do remember seeing that.
I am glad she's getting that opportunity. That's so awesome.
Speaking of Penn, she ended up getting a podium this weekend today
Hmm.
in ELMS in the Pro-Am category for LMP2.
That's
So
dope.
this
That's dope.
is amazing for her. She's going to be at Le Mans in LMP2 this year too. So I do hope she has a great season.
Hmm.
Though I suppose the very, very last thing we can mention. Please tell me y'all saw whatever the fuck Aston Martin was testing.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah.
What was that?
At first I thought, okay, this is some AI bullshit. And then I actually kind of looked into it and I'm like, oh, it's real. It's fucking modern. It looks like a damn modern Can-Am car. V12, open top.
Yeah.
It's gonna be at Goodwood.
I mean, can you guys fill me in on this? Like, what's the point of this? Like, is this just like a publicity stunt, or?
No, it's a billionaire who commissioned the car to essentially be Aston Martin version of the RB17. That's all I know.
Okay.
Apparently, a billionaire said, "Build the fastest car you can possibly think of."
Well, it looks like I don't even know.
A modern Can-Am car. Straight
Yeah,
up looks like a modern Can-Am car.
Yeah. I mean, it just. Sorry, the front just looks so weird. I don't know what else to say. It just looks just off.
It's the Batmobile.
It's like look. I like the Batmobile and the Batman. The one with Robert Pattinson. I like that Batmobile. That was awesome. I didn't know that he was going to get an upgrade, and we're going to get a cross between that and the one from frickin' Michael Keaton's. Like, guys, come on.
I think he'd like a little bit more bulletproof glass than what that Aston Martin has, but yeah, Batmobile is right.
I think that's pretty accurate. And like, you know, I'm done. I'm done.
Why?
I'm done.
I think that's it. Just why? Why does it exist?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what's even look, a billionaire gave you a bunch of money. Great. I mean, good for you guys. I mean, look, but what's the fucking point? Like, guys.
Look, you kind of have bigger issues over in F1.
Yeah.
You have some issues.
Look, your endurance
The company as a whole.
The endurance program's doing all right. It's doing all right. You know.
I'd say they're very excited about the future.
Yeah. But F1, yeah, you got bigger problems, guys. Like, well, also that's kind of Honda's fault too, but whatever.
Could have just built a better car.
I mean, yeah. Build one that doesn't vibrate.
Money last year.
I'd say ending off on that monstrosity makes a lot of sense. So Yeah, you know what? Thank you guys for watching another ramble session of Wheel to Wheel. As you can tell, this time I'm finally gonna fucking mention that we're the Hat Gang. We're officially the Hat Gang. So imagine a car with a
I
hat.
should have worn a hat that wasn't racing oriented because we got, or something Chicago oriented because we got Cubs. We got
I
we
just
got the
noticed
Bulls.
that.
We got the Bulls down here.
Look,
I don't look.
You can say it's C related because it's Chili's.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like that.
C
Yep.
chili.
Yeah.
A
so
literal
we got,
chili.
So we got Cubs, right? Chicago Cubs. We got Chicago Bulls, and then we got Chili's Grill and Bar. You know.
The three C's, the better of the three
Yeah.
possible letter combinations.
Yeah, I guess the other C would be the Catholic Church because the Pope is from Chicago. So
Quad C, then quad C. But yeah, I'd say that's probably all for us over at Wheel to Wheel. Thank you for watching. If you like the absolute monstrosity of a ramble session, like, comment, and subscribe. If you didn't like it, we don't know. I doubt we'll ever fix that.
if
we'll
you don't
fix it.
if you
maybe.
don't if you didn't like it, click the dislike button twice.
It will double the dislike. We promise you that. So thank you. We're signing off. A good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Bye.
See ya.